Bumblin Biden is losing his base as the incoming GOP majority prepares to impeach him. We're going to look at the latest polling disaster for Biden. We're going to see how a number of GOP firebrands are smelling blood ripe for impeachment. And make sure to stick with me to the very end of this video when I'll reveal what it all means for this utterly disastrous regime. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone, patriots all across the world. Dr. Stevie with you. Great to be with you as always. If you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You know what else I want you to do? You know what I want you to do, right? I want you to have the best sleep of your lives, and you can do that by clicking on the link below and get yourself the one and only MyPillow. That's right, Mike Lindell is a Patriots patriot, and he is now offering you the best sleep of your life with his lowest prices in his history with code Turley. So, for example, usually the classic MyPillow is $69.98, but if you use code Turley, you can get yours for only $19.98, and that applies to over 200 products in their catalog. Gang, this is an amazing opportunity, so don't wait. Click on that link below. Get one for yourself. Get one for your loved ones, the patriots in your life. Let's support our fellow patriot, Mike Lindell, and let's get the best sleep of our lives. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Look, things are just going from bad to worse for Bumblin Biden. Let's be blunt. Fresh off his Jimmy Kimmel humiliation, where he failed to articulate a single coherent thought. I mean, that's some of the headlines today. Have you seen them? Biden takes his senility center stage was one of the headlines. Biden mumbling nonsense was another, or rambling incoherently was another one. So much for the clown Jimmy Kimmel helping him out here. But fresh off that humiliation, Biden is waking up to new polling that continues to show him in a job approval freefall. The latest Quinnipiac poll has Biden right now at 33% approval. 33% approval, 55% disapproval. The latest Morning Consult poll has Biden's approval at 39%. The latest NPR Morris poll has Biden clocking in at 38%. The Real Clear Politics aggregate, so this is an averaging out of all the polling out there, has Biden now at 39.7% approval. Now, he could always have, up to this point, he could point to that aggregate and say that he was still in the 40s, as if that was something to celebrate, right? Up to this point, he was still in the 40s. So disregard all those polls to show me in the 30s. Now, with this slew of polls showing Biden collapsing well into the 30s, even the Real Clear Politics aggregate has sunk below the 40% mark. And again, on average, 55% of voters disapprove of this regime. This is clearly a regime in a polling freefall, and we now know why. We now have the data that explains why Biden's poll numbers just keep going down, and that's because he's now officially losing his base. His own diehard voters are turning against him. The Washington Examiner has a piece that just came out with the headline, Biden's base abandoning him. Youth, women, minorities, and unions, to which I ask, is there anyone left? I mean, who else votes Democrat? Youth, women, minorities, unions. I mean, does the Democrat Party have anyone else voting for them? I mean, that's a pretty shocking headline. And it's shocking, I should say, in terms of just how dramatic the fallout is here among Biden's base. We already knew Biden had lost independents. Polls show Biden consistently either in the 20s or the low 30s with independents. And the combination of the total lack of support among Republicans, along with the eroding support among independents, has put Biden's poll numbers in the low 40s. And that his approval numbers were being, propped up by loyal Democratic voters and some independent hangovers. But now we're seeing Biden crater into the mid to low 30s, and that's because he's starting to lose his actual Democratic base. And again, we all know why. We could see it in the numbers just surrounding his handling of the economy. According to the latest ABC News poll, only 28% approve of how Biden has handled inflation, and only 27% approve of how he's handled gas prices. Now, you figure Democrats around 40% of the population. I know it's a little less, but just for the sake of simplicity. If Democrats are about 40% of the population, and if only 28% support Biden's handling of inflation and gas prices, that's a substantial loss of Democrat voters, right? That's pretty dramatic. And thanks to the polling of John Zogby, we can see where precisely the erosion is happening. Zogby found that voters between the ages of 18 and 29, only 35% approved of Biden. Those 65 or older, 40% approval. The only age group that actually still gives Biden a positive approval are millennials, and that's 51%. Among women, Biden's dropped to 42% approval. Hispanics, 44%. African Americans, 62%, down from the 70s some months back. So in virtually every constituency within the Democratic Party, for the exception of blacks and millennials, we're seeing Biden severely underwater, well under 50% approval. And that's very, very dangerous territory because we're not just talking a trouncing in the midterms anymore. We're now talking a level of unpopularity that's going to unleash the beast of impeachment. And that is exactly what Steve Bannon is predicting. Bannon is reading these poll numbers, and he's recognizing that this is putting Biden in a territory where more and more representatives and senators are going to be absolutely emboldened to impeach him and take him out. But before we get into that, what do you think of this shirt here? I did that, right? It's one of my favorite ones, and you can get your own. And one for the patriots in your life by clicking on the link below and visiting our amazing merch store with the best designs in the world. It's a great way to support this channel and spread patriot hope far and wide. So just click on that link below or go to store.turleytalks.com. That is store.turleytalks.com. All right, conservative firebrand Steve Bannon is openly predicting that Bumblin Biden will indeed be impeached, particularly over his regime's handling of the immigration crisis. And that's what he sees as the ultimate impetus for the Republican takeover in November. This November is really ultimately about one thing. It's about impeaching Joe Biden to stop this madness and to stop this illegitimate regime from destroying our nation. That's Bannon's take, right? And Bannon's not alone here. Nearly 70% of Republicans, 68%, want Biden impeached. That's a gigantic number. And Mediate is reporting that they predict pressure to impeach Biden is only going to increase among Republicans from here on in, and therefore among the population as a whole. And we're already seeing it from the likes of Dan Bongino and others who are openly calling for the Republican majority in November to take Biden out. I mean, this guy needs to get impeached, and we need to stop this regime from destroying the nation by imploding our borders and unleashing uncontrolled inflation, gas prices, and violent crime surges, and on and on and on. Now, regardless of what happens here, I do think when we add all this up, Biden is officially unelectable. I mean, this is what the People's pundit Richard Barris has been saying for several weeks now. Biden is simply unelectable. And when you take all these polls, the implosion of support among independents, the erosion of support within his own base, you couple that with record inflation, imploding border, violent crime out of control, that even has San Franciscans revolting, like I reported on in yesterday's video. When you put all of that together, along with the massive increasing pressure to impeach, this is a regime that's cracking up right in front of us. And not even a leftist clown like Jimmy Kimmel can put Bumblin Biden back together. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on why the Peter Navarro arrest will ultimately destroy the political class. You are not going to want to miss that. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.